Owen Wilson and Ed Helms' 2017 comedy movie Father Figures is now available on Netflix, and it deserves more respect than its reputation would suggest. Father Figures follows two adult brothers who decide to search for their father, whom they have never met. Their adventure leads them to several men across the country, providing laughs for audiences along the way. Though Father Figures was unsuccessful at the time of its release, streaming audiences are finally able to watch the movie, giving it new life. Father Figures is far from the first R-rated comedy for both Wilson and Helms, so putting their talent together was the perfect choice. After starring in several R-rated drama and thriller movies in the late 1990s, Wilson became one of the most well-known comedic actors in the early 2000s, especially R-rated comedies like Wedding Crashers. Though Father Figures was not well received on its release, it's surprisingly underrated, and it actually fits perfectly into the list of Owen Wilson's raunchy, R-rated comedies. Owen Wilson's Father Figures is a much more enjoyable comedy movie than its 17% Rotten Tomatoes score suggests. Its quirky plot actually works to its advantage. Owen Wilson and Ed Helms' Father Figures. Though Father Figures received largely negative reviews and was not financially successful, it's actually much more entertaining than the initial response gave it credit for. The plot follows a nonsensical goose chase for Kyle and Peters, Wilson and Helms, a father, and the antics that the brothers get into are ridiculous, but Father Figures works precisely because of that. The movie is not afraid to lean into raunchy adult comedy at certain points, but, at the same time, there is an underlying emotional backing to the journey the brothers take together and their search for identity. Aside from its entertaining plot, Father Figures also has a cast of A-list stars. Wilson and Helms have proven themselves reliably funny through their past ventures and are great comedic leads. Their mother, Helen, is played by Glenn Close, and their prospective fathers are played by numerous well-known actors and one well-known football player in a cameo as himself. Even for audience members who are not necessarily comedy fans, Father Figures boasts a cast that is equally believable in the movie's dramatic moments. Father Figures is one of Owen Wilson's best comedy movies since Wedding Crashers. Owen Wilson has always been good in R-rated comedies. Wedding Crashers came out during the peak of Wilson's raunchy comedy streak, but Father Figures serves as a reminder that over a decade later, he could still pull off more adult comedy roles. Many of his films from the time period around Wedding Crashers were similarly raunchy comedies that did well with audiences, if not always with critics. Wilson has starred in well-known comedies like Meet the Parents and its sequels, Zoolander, Hall Pass, The Internship, and many more, proving time and again that he is the perfect leading man for comedies. While many of Wilson's comedies have done well with audiences and have garnered enduring popularity, Father Figures has remained surprisingly underrated, despite being one of his best since Wedding Crashers. Both Father Figures and Wedding Crashers focus on the comedic dynamic between two men and the trouble that they get themselves into. Additionally, the premises of both movies are unusual but still believable enough to be funny, especially when held up by the cast's performances. Both movies are great comedies that deserve a rewatch. Why Owen Wilson hasn't starred in another R-rated comedy movie since Father Figures? His recent roles have been more family-friendly. J.K. Simmons. Owen Wilson and Ed Helms in Father Figures movie. Since Father Figures, Owen Wilson has gone on a different career trajectory. While he has been in several comedies since Father Figures' 2017 release, they have been family-friendly action comedies or romantic comedies rather than R-rated. This is hardly unusual considering how many diverse films Wilson has starred in throughout his career. Wilson continued his long creative partnership with director Wes Anderson with The French Dispatch in 2021. He then went on to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe as one of the main characters of the series Loki, showcasing his versatility. Though Wilson has not been in any R-rated comedies recently, he has not explicitly stated a disinterest in the genre either. However, there is one reason why this change may have occurred. While Wilson's brand of raunchy comedies are great for the era they came out in, unfortunately, that genre is simply not as popular as it once was. Aside from a few recent additions like 2023's No Hard Feelings, adult comedies are not as common anymore. However, with Father Figures re-emerging in popularity on Netflix, it is always possible that audiences will begin to enjoy the genre more again, leading to new additions.